And let's talk about the team that we all care about. Let's talk about the Detroit Tigers and what they did in San Francisco. It was Splitsville, baby. They split the series like we talked about them needing to do. We said you cannot get swept. You have no more room for error in this season. There's no more getting swept. And they didn't. And in fact, they had a great opportunity to actually sweep this series. If you remember back to what I talked about on the preview for this series, I told you that the San Francisco Giants, they walk at a 10% clip. And in the first game, Tarek Skubal once again struggled. Only went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, and walked 4 batters. 2 of those batters that he walked led directly to 3 of the runs that he gave up. Now, if we look at the game as a whole, if he doesn't walk those 2 batters, or let's say he only walks 1 of those 2 batters and only 1 of those 2 batters come back to score, the Tigers win that game. And I know that we could play the if, ands, and buts game all day long. I get that. But the offense actually did what they were supposed to do. They got 10 hits, 4 extra base hits, scratched across 3 runs. They did leave 8 men on base, but they were 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And we know that the Tigers traditionally have been, or this season, have been pretty darn good when they score 3 or more runs. Unfortunately, they just left 1 out there. And ended up being, after this game, I believe it was 26-12 if they score 3 or more runs. But then we get to Wednesday afternoon, a game that did not look good at the beginning. Alex Wood was dominating through the first 5 innings. He looked really good, but the bats still came alive. 9 hits. Eric Haase has a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, which proved to be the difference. Michael Fulmer worked out of a jam, win an inning and a third, and really shut the door on the San Francisco Giants and has been pitching magnificently, which is unfortunate because he's potentially going to then become a trade candidate here at the trade deadline because people are definitely going to want his services. But if they don't come calling or you can't get the return that you want for Michael Fulmer, you lock him up for a few years to be the linchpin of your bullpen. But what I want to talk about specifically is something that I think in this series came to light. And that's the fact that Eric Haase probably should be our starting catcher for a while. And here's why. Over his last 9 appearances, going back to the Texas Rangers series, Eric Haase is slashing .323, .344, .677 with 189 weighted runs created, 89% better than league average. Over that span, he has 10 hits, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 9 RBIs, and 5 of those RBIs came in the last 2 appearances, which gave the Tigers a lead. He hit a 3-run home run in Arizona, which gave them a 6-5 lead, and then he hit this home run in San Francisco, which gave him a 3-1 lead. It was a 2-run home run at that time. On the season, Haase is hitting .215. He's got an on-base percentage of .264 and a slugging percentage of .388. He's got an 84 weighted runs created, which is 16% below Major League average. But he does have 5 home runs. He's walking at a 6% base on ball rate, and he has a 26% strikeout rate. And so we compare that to Tucker Barnhart, who they traded for in the offseason to be the starting catcher, who's been a Gold Glove catcher. And looking at the defensive metrics, there's not much difference actually between these 2 catchers. So in that same span, going back to the Texas Rangers series, Barnhart is hitting .063, an on-base percentage of .167, and a slugging percentage of .063. 1 hit, a single. He's got a negative 28 weighted runs created, which is 128% below Major League average. He's got 1 hit. He's walked at 11% of the time, struck out 11% of the time over that span. For the season, he's hitting less than Eric Haase at .214, 1 point less, I get it. .265 on base percentage and a .241 slugging percentage. 0 home runs, 47 weighted runs created, 6.5% walk rate, so a slightly better walk rate than Eric Haase, but a 29.7% K rate. He is struggling, and I get it, right? We don't need a ton of offensive production from our catchers. AJ Hinch says, catch a win, get a hit. That's all he looks for. But the problem is, Tucker Barnhart is not getting a hit. And if Eric Haase can add extra base power and can put the bat on the ball, he needs to be starting, specifically in the sense that he is hot right now, and he needs to be the guy in the lineup every day until he starts to cool off or Tucker starts to hit the ball better.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?